6 dígitos. That PIN is invalid for this conference. Ese no es un número de identificación personal válido. Please enter the number of listeners at your location. Thank you. You will now be connected to the meeting.
The early days. There's Scotton and Milford Market, Detroit, Michigan. She always talked about that. There's my mom and dad. There's Uncle Eddie. Her boys. Here she is with the twins. My dad's two sisters. There's the boys. Monique. There's Alexandria. Heather. No, there's Alexandria. That must have been Rachel. Yep, that's Rachel. That's Alexandria. That's Grandma Sallie. Uncle Max. Is that Townie? Well, there's me with muscles. Here's the place in Florida, out by the just steps from the pool. Me in Alexandria. Grandma Sallie. There she is getting an award. Looks like the sheriff's department. There's a little Shane. Uncle Eddie, Situ, Aunt Sondra, and Sister Sallie.
Thank you. You will now be connected to the meeting.
Starting a little late.
On behalf of the families, we want to thank all of you for being here today.
This is
We're
the
here
memorial.
to remember Sallee Townsend, dear sister of ours. She passed away on April 21st. She was born June 16th, 1925, 86 years ago. And she's had a fine life. Our dear sister suffered quite a bit over the last several years. We're well aware of that, and we're glad that that portion of her life is over, as she dealt with so many different things related to her health. Peace to her survived by her brother, Edward Hanna, sister, Sondra Campion, 4 sons, 13 grandchildren, 9 great-grandchildren, and yeah, I got that, I think. There's a number of facts about Sallee that many of the friends here don't know, and I thought I'd mention a couple of them. She was a very successful business woman, and she cared a great deal about people. And because of that, because of the two things, they're kind of interrelated, she had the means to give some help. She started a program called A.C.I.D for Children in Drugs, and that later turned into the program which is still going on today, DARE. She was responsible for that. Also, she was the regional representative for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So she really gave of herself when she could, and she really had a desire to help people. She did that also in the ministry. She was known for her charity also. Some of the things that we as her family here in this congregation do know about her is that she cared a great deal about the more important things in life, and that was the spiritual things. She was brought up in a strong witness family, and I was talking to her a couple of months ago and mentioned, actually she had a bone to pick with me, because we had a part where we were telling how long people had published in the congregation, and we didn't get her timing right. She has been publishing since she was a little child, and she was baptized in 1986, so she's been doing that all of her life. Her father, Brother Hanna, is mentioned in a 1955 yearbook, and he actually lost his life in defense of his faith. I'm not sure if that's the reason that he was mentioned in there, but that's the kind of background that Sallee came from. Sallee had time to report this month, and we're going to make sure that gets on her card. Despite everything she was going through, she wanted to make sure that time got in. She was always one of the first ones to call with her time. She felt it was important for her to be regular and for that to be recorded. What keeps someone like that going? All of these years, being faithful, being strong for the family, strong for the truth. Well, it's really accurate knowledge that keeps people going, especially in the truth. Accurate knowledge leads to confidence, and confidence in what's written in the Bible leads to a hope that's unshakable, absolutely unshakable. And that's the hope that Sallee had. We're going to talk a little bit about that hope. But that hope, what it does for Christians is it puts fear aside. There is really nothing that we have to fear. Sallee feared only one thing, the manner in which she would end her life. Not that her life would end. Not at all. And we probably have the same kind of fears. We don't know the future. And those are the kind of things that worry us and get us concerned, but certainly not the outcome. The hope that Sallee had in common with the rest of us is she knew the true God, Jehovah, and she was not confused about Jesus Christ, the firstborn of creation, the one who through him everything else was brought to be. She appreciated the purpose that God had for the earth. She remembers the original purpose and realizes that there's nothing that's going to stop that purpose from being fulfilled. Yes, there's been a detour. Things are not the way God intended, but she knows that very shortly those things are going to be realized. And many people that we talk to in the ministry are realizing the same thing. They're sensing that things are changing in the world to a degree where something has to happen. And we know what's going to happen. And if we turn to the book of Revelation, one of the most comforting scriptures that she was aware of was what's mentioned in Revelation chapter 21. That original purpose is going to have these particular points brought about in it. 21, 3 and 4. With that I heard a loud voice from the throne say, "Look, the tent of God is with mankind, and he will reside with them, and they will be his people. And God himself will be with them." That's telling us that God is going to be with them as it was intended to be in the beginning. And what will he do? He will wipe out every tear from their eye, and death will be no more, neither will mourning, nor outcry, nor pain be any more. The former things have passed away, never, ever to return. The life that we're leading now, the problems that we're having, will never be back again. That was God's original purpose, and that will definitely be fulfilled. Sallee had that hope. She had that understanding. She knew what the near future holds. She also knew that her life would be short, like all humans. She realized that we all die. Good people die, bad people die. Why? Well, the disobedience of Adam is how it all started. We're familiar with that story, and he gave up this wonderful privilege of having a paradise. And because of that, you can read what happens in Romans chapter 5, verse 12. Because of his original sin, he said, "That is why just as through the one man sin entered into the world, and death through sin, and thus death spread to all men, because they had all sinned because of that act." And so our fate as humans today is a relatively very short life. But Sallee also had an understanding of the process that was set in place by Adam. And there was no fear involved in that either. Christendom and many churches teach that there's, after life, there's the possibility of a hell, there's a possibility of a heaven. And many people are worried. They don't understand, or they worry about where our loved ones are. Sallee had no such worries at all. The condition of the dead is just like sleeping. Sheol in the Bible is nothing, which is translated hell, is nothing more than the common grave. And that's where Sallee is, waiting the fulfillment of a promise. The promise to be resurrected. And for her, it'll be in an instant. And she will be returned. She's guaranteed of that, because the wages that sin pays is death. She's been acquitted of her sins. Her faith in Jesus Christ's ransom assures that, and the fact that she has had to die in this system of things has assured that she is in line for a resurrection. And we hope to be there to see her again. Because her faith was so strong in this point, because she understood what the soul was. The soul was the person, the living being with Jehovah's life force in it. If we turn to Ecclesiastes, you might want to put a marker there, because we'll be going back to that book several times. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 5 and 10. It says there, "For the living are conscious that they will die, but as for the dead, they are conscious of nothing at all." And in 10, "All that your hand finds to do with your very power." It's implying while you're alive. "For there is no work, nor devising, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in Sheol," the common grave, the place to which you are going. That's where mankind is going because of Adamic sin. And Sallee knew that was nothing to be feared, nothing to be afraid of. She's in Jehovah's memory, and Jehovah will resurrect her. That resurrection hope was soul a ransom in exchange for many, many million who have died. That was the exchange price, that he died for them, and they have the hope of a resurrection. In 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 22, it talks about that resurrection. 15 verse 22 says, "For just as in Adam all are dying, so also in the Christ all will be made alive." And 23, "But each one in his own rank. Christ, the first fruits, afterwards those who belong to the Christ during his presence." God uses Jesus to raise the dead. In John chapter 5, and it's fitting that Jesus would have that honor, because Jesus' sacrifice is what bought mankind back. But here's John chapter 5, 28, 9. "Because the hours will hear his voice come out. The resurrection of life, those who practice vile things to a resurrection of judgment." And that does not mean that people will be resurrected just to be judged. All will be resurrected who have died, and almost all of them. And they will then choose whether they want to live forever or not.
Yeah.
And the outcome for some will be a judgment, for most will be a judgment for everlasting life. That's a wonderful thing to think about and to look forward to. For the anointed, those that are in union with Christ, they do have a heavenly hope as part of the 144,000. The other sheep, those will be resurrected to earth. And if you really think about it, we were built into us a desire to live on the earth, to enjoy the earth, to enjoy each other, even the way the earth is today. But the fact is that many of us can picture ourselves what a perfect earth will be, what a perfect self will be, with none of the problems that we're seeing on the earth today. And that is really where we want to be. Ecclesiastes, it tells us that everlasting life was built into us, and we do have that desire, and that will be the outcome. Armageddon survivors can hope to see the deceased loved ones again. They will be resurrected. A wonderful hope for us. We won't be having any more talks like this, just announcements of those who have been resurrected. Why is it good to be here today? Well, there's a number of reasons where all of us can benefit. Number one reason, we're here to support the family and to comfort them in their loss. Anytime someone is lost, it's painful. It's a grievous thing that we have to go through. And that pain can be shared with those that are around us, those who love us. So we're here for that reason. But also, if we turn to Ecclesiastes again, chapter 7, it gives us some other benefits. Benefits for those who are still living. In chapter 7 and verse 2, it says, "Better it is to go to the house of mourning than to go to the banquet house, because that is the end of all mankind. And the one wine should take to heart." Being here, considering someone who has died, reminds us of the shortness of our life. It reminds us that there's things that we should be doing in making a relationship with God, so that the hope that we have is the same as the hope that Sallee had. A hope for the future, no fear at all of any of the things that are coming upon mankind. Matthew chapter 6 gives us exactly that direction. Jesus himself was telling us how to benefit ourselves in Matthew chapter 6. Starting in verse 19, are fleeting, and as the old saying goes, we certainly can't take it with us. And many times, treasures on the earth just become another source of worry. The treasures in the heaven are enduring. They're solid. They're strong. They do wonderful things for us individually because they build in us, again, that faith and that hope. One way to do that is the things that you learn from the Bible, share with others. As certainly this congregation is well known for, and Sallee was well known for. Sallee shared her hope for life, for the future, for the kingdom, with anyone she came in contact with. And that is one way that we can benefit, and benefit others to do that. One of the other things that occurs when we take a stand for the things that are spiritual rather than the things that are earthly is there's a large issue going on between Satan, the devil's accusation, and Jehovah's right to rule. And those who are faithful give an answer to him. Day after day after day after day, the faithful course of a true Christian is an answer to Jehovah that Satan is wrong. Our final scripture is in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. 1 Corinthians chapter 15. And it says in 58, consequently, my beloved brothers, become steadfast, unmovable, always having plenty to do in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain in connection with the Lord. So that's advice for us to stay busy in spiritual things, and that effort will not be in vain. We will build the same kind of hope and solid faith as Sallee had. And then we can truly say, as verse 55 says, death, where is your victory? Death, where is your sting? It's not there. It'd be appropriate if we offer a prayer now. Our loving Father, Jehovah, we thank you so much for allowing us to be gathered here in remembrance of Sallee. We appreciate your fine words that explain to us the hope that she had. And we ask that you, being the God of comfort, to comfort the family in their loss. She will be missed, and time will have to be taken before the grief is completely over. But we do have hope, and we do have courage in the future, and know that the outcome for those who have died faithfully will be a very good one. We certainly look forward to all these things coming about, your kingdom being established, this system of things being done away with, which brings nothing but trouble and strife on mankind. We know, being the God of love, that this hurts you for it to continue, and we know that as soon as possible, you will do away with these things. In the meantime, help us to stay close to your word so that we can remain proved to you, and we ask especially that your spirit be with the family today. We offer this prayer now, giving thanks and asking forgiveness in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Again, we thank you all for attending here, and no doubt you'd like to meet the family afterwards.
That's it. Sallee Townsend.